and welcome you onto Aspheric TV, and this is the news wrap-up. My name is Dabar Gifts. The headlines: President Buhari to confirm national honor on Jamo. Treat all thefts in Nigeria as blood diamonds, Mele Kyari tells international community. 2023, Supreme Court strikes out suit against PDP's zoning policy. Wiki media chat: I said no when Tinubu wooed me to go for Senate. Please stay with us for details of these stories. Now the news. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamu, is set to be honored by President Muhammadu Buhari with the conferment of the Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic, OFR. According to the Assistant Director of Public Relations, NIMASA, Osaje Edward, the letter for the award was conveyed to Dr. Jamu from the Office of the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume, with the investiture ceremony scheduled to hold at the International Conference Center in Abuja on Monday, 10th October 2022. Recall that Dr. Jamu had served the Nigerian maritime sector as an administrator for over 30 years when he was appointed by President Buhari as the NIMASA DG in March 2020. Since that time, he has overseen the successful deployment of the Integrated National Security and Waterways Protection Infrastructure, otherwise known as the Deep Blue Project, which has played a major role in achieving a reduction of piracy in the Gulf of Guinea to its barest minimum since 1994, and culminating in Nigeria being removed from the infamous piracy red list by the International Maritime Bureau, IMB. A hallmark of his tenure at the helm of NIMASA has been his institutionalization of collaboration among stakeholders within and outside the country to achieve major milestones in the sector. One notable example of this has been his initiation of the Gulf of Guinea Maritime Collaboration Forum, Shared Awareness and Deconfliction, which has demonstrated the positive outcomes derived from information sharing among regional and non-regional military forces in achieving a secure maritime space. Dr. Jamu especially thanked His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari and the Standing Committee on National Honors Award for deeming him worthy of the honor, while also appreciating everyone who had supported him throughout his tenure as NIMASA Director General, especially the maritime stakeholders. The Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Mele Kyari, has called on the international community to treat any theft oil from Nigeria as blood diamonds, reports DailyTrust. He spoke at the Nigeria International Economic Partnership Forum in New York on Thursday. At the event, the NNPCL and the Federal Ministry of Petroleum signed a Memorandum of Understanding with international investors to build modular refineries in Nigeria, with each one capable of refining 10,000 barrels of oil per day. In his remarks, Kyari asked the international investors to assist Nigeria in its fight against oil thefts. He submitted international buyers can actually tell the source of the oil they are buying, urging them to treat any Nigerian oil from unofficial channels the same way blood diamonds were treated in the recent past. Kyari assured investors that Nigeria is safe and open for business in oil, and particularly gas. Supreme Court on Friday struck out a suit which challenged the refusal of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to stick to its zoning policy in the nomination of its presidential candidate for next year's election. A five-member panel of the court in a judgment held unanimously that the court lacked the jurisdiction to hear the suit. In the lead judgment read by Justice Adamu Jauro, the court agreed with the lawyer of the PDP, Mahmood Magaji San, that the issue of nomination of candidates for election was internal to the political party. It also held that issues raised in the suit were not justiciable on the grounds that the nomination of candidates for election is an internal affair of any political party. The judgment was an appeal by the presidential aspirant of PDP and former Deputy Abia Speaker Cosmos Ndukwe. He had prayed, among others, for an order to compel the PDP to uphold its zoning policy as enshrined in the party's construction by nominating a southern candidate. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike on Friday disclosed that the presidential candidate of All Progressives Congress (APC), Bola Tinubu, wooed him to run for Senate after he lost the presidential ticket of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). Wike made the remarks during a media chat with journalists in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, where he spoke extensively on some of the underground politics that played out during and after the PDP's convention, which saw the emergence of Atiku Abubakar as the party's presidential candidate. He alleged that Tinubu accosted him amid the PDP crisis and wooed him to go for the Senate, but he rejected the offer. The Rivers State Governor added that he refused to make decisions that will affect the overall interest of the party, despite the internal crisis at the national level, which he claimed was fomented by Atiku, Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal, and the party's chair, Iyorchia Ayu. He, however, stated that Ayu stepped down and gave room to equity and fairness in the party. Asked if his actions after the primaries were not traits of a bad loser, he replied, "I never collected senatorial form. Other candidates did, and that is how you know those who are serious and those who are unserious." He opined that he didn't contest for the ticket because he wanted to settle for the position of vice president. Wike also revealed that he was aware of the underground moves of the Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to become the vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. That's the news. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Aspheric TV on YouTube. Also follow us on all of our social media platforms. On Instagram and Twitter, we are Aspheric News, and on Facebook, we are Official Aspheric News. Thanks for watching.